call me. I promise that you never be lonely. Peter Pan, that's what they call me. I promise that you never.
What's up, guys? This is Crafting with Mike Car Mod Edition. Today I'm going to show you how to build a tablet box. I got this piece off of my Xbox 360. I had two of them. Just whip that little piece of plastic off, throw it away. First thing you want to do is take all these little tabs and cut them off. Now, pretty easy. Some of them will give you trouble. They're gonna fly all over the place. You can pick them up later. So, once you're done cutting off all the tabs, it'll take a little while. Now once you got all your tabs off, say nice and not very smooth, but all these little pieces that stick up like right there, you can sand that down to the bottom if you want to. This is just if you have extra Xbox pieces lying around that you don't really need. What you're going to do is you're going to cut it here, here, and then when you cut it on the sides, try to cut it at one end or the other on both sides. It doesn't matter which one, because what you're wanting to do is take your tablet and you want it to sort of go around the edge of the tablet. So you cut it here in the middle. Actually, when you go around, cut it close to here. That way when you cut this piece off, you'll have a little piece like that. You can put that to the side, and this little piece down here you can flip around and put it connecting right there. Alright, so we got our tablet, got our cutters, and we got our piece. Now, if you don't have Xbox pieces lying around or extra Xbox pieces, whatever, you can do a couple different things. You could actually make the frame around the outside of your tablet. You just want it to be about that much more than the tablet, so it'll go around so the tablet will fit into it. But if you don't have this, you can cut out cardboard to make the frame. You could use some kind of wire, like if you got an old extension cord or an old phone charger you don't use anymore, you can just wrap that around the tablet and hold it together with hot glue or something. This is just basically sort of the mold. So what you want to do is, and it's going to be a little bit thicker. If you want to cut it, so you have little pieces. You're going to do that all the way around it. And you should have 4 pieces. Now, it's always good to have extra one of these, just in case you want to switch it up. What you're going to do is you're going to take the piece and you're going to put it where you want it. So it'll be on the corner of the tablet. And you're going to take another piece and you're going to put it on there a little bit closer. And you want to push it over and sort of mark a spot with your fingers where you're going to want to cut it. Once you know where you're going to cut it, take your cutters find that spot, aim it away from your face, because it will fly. Now, once that's done, check your cut, make sure that it lines up where you want it to line up and that the tablet fits down in it. So if the tablet's going to go in it like that, it's got this little lip on it. I'm going to make sure that it touches and it connects. Now, you have your pieces. Let's say this one is going to go right here. And now you're thinking, that piece isn't going to work right there. I mean, it will. You just cut a little piece off. When I say to mark it, take this piece, make sure that it's tucked up underneath the tablet. It's kind of hard to do with one hand, but like that. And then this piece is going to be your corner piece because it curves. So you're going to want the curve right there, and you're going to mark the spot to cut it. And you can just pinch it with your fingers. It's a lot easier with two hands. But once you do that, you make your frame. You take the extra pieces, like the piece that you cut right there, take that piece, and when you have your tablet where you want it, and you got that right there, see if it'll fit right there or right there, and then tape it together. And this is why you want to have an extra piece, because you'll need a piece right here to connect this. Now, once you've got that done, you can set it to the side. And then, what you want to do is put your tablet on a piece of cardboard, like with this piece of cardboard. It's almost a perfect fit right there. So, I'll cut it and cut this piece of cardboard into a square. Now you can use a pencil or a pen or a marker, whatever. Take it, you draw you a line. So that way you know where to cut. You take you a box opener, if you don't have one of these, use a knife, whatever. Then you just follow the line. And make a back. Now, once you have your back, also you can, before you tape these together, figure out how you want it. You can super glue them. That way they hold up better, just until we get this completely finished. Now once you got your back piece, you want to set all these down how you're going to want them. So of course, once you got it where you want all of them, you want to make sure that they're still going to fit. What I mean is, once you've got them down, you can tape them down to keep them in place. Just take your tablet, set it down in the middle to make sure that it fits down in there. And that's how you make the basic frame. Now I've already made one. I'm going to show you the rest of the things to do. This is the one I made. As you can see, the tablet fits down in there pretty decent. And it comes out. Now later on you can put rubber bands on the ends, or you can do corner bands, or if you have an old picture frame, you could screw the pieces of metal to the bottom and the top, or to the sides, whichever. and just fold it over onto it. If you use metal, I would recommend putting some kind of electrical tape or heat shrink wraps for wiring on the ends of it and shrink them to it so that way it doesn't scratch up your tablet. So that's step one. Now we've got all our pieces, we've taped them all together. Super glue it to the frame so it'll go around the edge of the frame, and that's going to be basically a homemade tablet cover. Now I'm doing this as cheap as I can, but if you wanted to go out and just buy a tablet cover or something, you could do it yourself, but I like the DIY better because it's something that you build that you know you worked hard to do, and when it's done, it's pretty satisfying. Now, once I got it glued down to the base, this is my frame. I've taped each edge and super glued it together so that way it's pretty sturdy. I've also super glued around the edge of it to the cardboard to hold it in place where I wanted it. Now once the super glue dried, I use some Flex Seal. You don't have to use Flex Seal, you can use caulk or the silicone gel, and I just put it around the edge, and then I put on a glove and smoothed it out. You don't have to use a glove either, but I did. This is what it looks like up close. I got Flex Seal around it, my back. Now I'm going to drill a little hole right here. And once I drill that hole, I'm going to do it pretty small, but that's going to be later on. That way I can attach a ribbon or something to hang down, so when I want to get my tablet out, I can just pull the ribbon and it'll pop right out. Step 2 is to make the back. So that way it sits up. So when your tablet, you sit it up on your dashboard, whatever. So what I did was, after I made my plate, I put it down. I grabbed another piece of cardboard and I made 2 sides and cut them in straight lines. So all I did was I took that's about half cut. Now after I cut that, I took this piece and I put this up here so I knew it'd fit. I cut that one a little short, so flip it around. Click. Right there. Now what I did was I took this piece and I glued it to the back. And the reason I did that was so I could go ahead and have an idea of where I would want it. Now once I did that, I took it out to the car and I set it down. And when I set it down with that piece glued to the back of it, it set up like this. And it didn't really flow with the CD player and everything in the middle console. So what I did was I measured out how I would want to cut the angle. So all I really did was, in all honesty, I ripped the cardboard off after I super glued it because I had to redo it. So before you super glue it, take this piece, set this up on your car, like picture this is your car. Now you want everything to flow up to the tablet. You don't want the tablet to stick out, or maybe you do want the tablet to stick out. Just sort of maneuver the tablet where you want it. And then you're going to hold it with this hand how you want it. And you're going to take this with your other hand and put it down on the flat surface of the car. Now once I did that, I seen that I had to cut it from there, so I put the corner of it at the bottom. And then at the top, I put my thumb. So that way I knew I had to draw a line from right here to the corner. So I just took a ruler and drew that line. That's what gave me the angle that I wanted. Because if I didn't,
it would have been sticking out to right here. So it would have looked like that in my car. I didn't really like, but if that's how you want it, then that's how you want it. Now, another thing, when I put this down where I would want it to sit, I went to the back and I felt the back and it was sticking out, and my vents that defrost my windshield was right here. So I moved my finger to where I was far enough away from the vent to where it wouldn't do any damage if it did, or it wouldn't block the vent. And then I pulled it up with my finger right there and I cut it. Now after I cut it, I had a straight line and an angled line. Well, angled like that, and then a straight line. And I didn't want it to just be like a box shape, so I cut it from here straight down to about right there, leaving about a fingernail length away from the bottom. That way it gave me this shape. And then I also cut the tip off so it wasn't just pointing up. Now after I did that, I took that back into the house and put it on another piece of cardboard and cut around it. That way I'd have two equal length shapes. And that's how I made the sides.
Once I was done with the sides, I went ahead and made a bottom. You can see it right there. I didn't really cover that up too well because it's going to be on the bottom. So after I did that, I super glued it all together. Now once the super glue dried, I went back inside of it and I put along the inside here and here, I put hot glue to sort of support it more. And then I also put hot glue on the inside of the cracks here and here to support that. Now once I was done, I had my sides and my base, but I didn't want the sides to bend in, so I took another piece of cardboard and cut it to where it would fit right here. So basically I took one piece of cardboard and cut it to where it would fit inside of this, and then I pushed it up against the front and the bottom and the sides, and then I went around the entire piece with hot glue to hold it in place. And that completes step 2 of the process. Step 3 is actually pretty simple. If you know anything about fiberglass, and you know you need fleece to fiberglass, and you don't need fleece to fiberglass, but I haven't done it. This is sort of a test run for me on fleecing and fiberglassing the fleece. I don't know exactly how it's going to turn out in the end, but it's just something fun to do. So I took a piece of fleece. You can see my leftover pieces. Basically, I went to Walmart. I bought the fleece for probably about $5. Pretty cheap, just like a blanket, like a kid's blanket. But it's got like all the little bones, and it might have been a dog's blanket. I don't know. It says meow, so it could be a cat. But it says fetch, so anyway, buy you a fleece blanket, and then what I did was put this down, and then I cut about 2 inches on each side of it, straight down, and then cut another pretty good sized piece so that it would wrap around the back. Once I wrapped it around the back, I stapled it. I had to go buy a staple gun, which was like $5, and then the staples for it was $2, so that's also pretty cheap. Now with everything that I used, I already had, so if I had to say a cost, you could buy a cardboard fold out thing at the Dollar Tree for 50 cents. The fleece was $5. Like I said, you don't have to use Xbox pieces. That's just what I had that I thought would be a good fit and look good, because it's got the curve with it. But you could use wires. You could make the frame out of cardboard itself. there's a lot of things you could do if you just look around and try to get creative. I mean, you could even use popsicle sticks just to make a frame around for the tablet. Now, once I was done putting everything together, from where it is now, which is about halfway done, I've still got to fiberglass it. It was actually pretty cheap. Altogether is $5. The flex glue was $5. I bought a little tube, so that's 10. Cardboard was 50 cents. That's $10.50. The staple gun was $5. That's $15.50, and then the staples were $2. So that was $17.50 just to make this piece.
Do get some new fiberglass, not too much. Like I said, you don't need a lot. And you're gonna take some hardener. I'll put a few drops in there. Now you're gonna mix it. There we go. As you can see, I fiberglassed it. The sides, the back, and the front. It's still pretty wet. I'm letting it dry. Once it's dry, I'll do the bottom. We'll sand it down, paint it, get it installed, see how it looks on the next video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Peter Pan, that's what they call me. I promise that you never be lonely. Peter Pan, that's what they call me. I promise that you never